Hi, I'm Jody Lane with Accelerated Medical Practices, and we host a monthly mastermind just for hormone clinic owners and providers. And it's designed to help you solve the real world challenges you face in your clinic every day. Each session starts with a short teaching topic, just like the one you're about to watch, led by the AMP team. Then we dive into live problem solving with the group. And whether you share, contribute, or just listen, you're going to walk away with something useful to improve or streamline your practice. It's low cost, it's no commitment, and you get the replay if you miss it. And because I really want you to check it out, I'm going to give you your first month absolutely free. Just email me at Jody, Jody, at acceleratedmedicalpractices.com with the word mastermind, and I'll send you the invite. You've got nothing to lose and a whole community to gain.
All right, perfect. So to this week or this month's mastermind educational topic is how do I know how much to spend on marketing? So I'm Jamie Lane. I am the Accelerated Medical Practices managing partner of the marketing division, and I am here to hopefully give you the information you need to plan and create the formula for around how much you should invest inside of your marketing to get the leads you need by the end of the presentation. So to start off with, in order to plan your marketing budget, you have to start off with setting your actual goals. How many patients do you want to achieve? And this is such a critical, important element of planning your budget because this is a foundation for how much investment you have to get to reach those goals. And it's so important to think through what are realistic goals. If your marketing comes from last month, you got 10 leads or you got 10 patients or you got 15 leads, you want to not jump unrealistically to, let's say, 100 new patients or 25 new patients and you had 0 leads last month. You want to build goals that are built upon a foundation of marketing. And if you don't have a foundation to build from, start up small and create a hypothesis. And we can build towards using some of these numbers to help reach those goals. And as part of your setting your goals, you want to think through your considering your patient churn. How many patients are leaving you each month? So that way your goals ideally will offset that so you're still growing. So for the course of this presentation, we're going to set a goal of 10 new patients, and I'm using this number throughout it. Next element inside the formula is building upon what's called your patient value. You have to know your metrics really closely. What is the lifetime value of your patient? So your lifetime value is your average monthly revenue times the average retention period. And so we know that some patients love to stay on for 3 or 5 years and some bail after 1 month. And so this is why the average is so important, because this allows you to come up with the formula for determining, how much you should think about spending and how much you should try to earn inside of your marketing dollars. So in this example, where you use, if you make $250 a month and your average patient stays for 1 year, that's $3,000. So next element of the formula is determining your LTV to CAC goal. So CAC is a marketing and sales term called customer acquisition cost. And so your customer acquisition cost is the complete set of costs related to what it takes to acquire that customer. That's part of your advertising costs. That's part of your software fees. That's part of the marketing fees and the agency fees and the creative fees. And so you want to be able to get it clear about your goal is to have an LTV to CAC ratio that is greater than 3 to 1. And so what that ratio means is how much revenue you should generate per every marketing dollar spent. The inverse of that is it's how effective is your marketing. And if it gets really high, that means you're actually probably spending less in your marketing than you actually should be. So your objective goal, again, is strive for a 3 to 1 or higher. And then if it gets too high, put more into marketing so you can lower it down and get more leads, get more patients. So in this scenario, if your lifetime value is $3,000, your CAC goal should be $1,000 or less. So next important element here is understanding your sales conversion funnel. What is your sales close rate? Quite often, great salespeople, if you get them in person with you, have a 1 in 2 chance to convert your patients because your patients have needs. They are actually willing to speak to you. But do you know what your close rates are? How many patients do you need to talk to be able to convert them to a patient? But the flip side of that is, what is your lead answer rate? How many leads can you actually get a hold of? And they say right now, if you don't reach your leads within 24 to 48 hours, that 80% of them won't pick up the phone. They won't pick up your SMS if you're not doing proper nurturing. And so if you don't know how many leads you're actually able to reach out with your lead answer rate, it doesn't matter how many you're closing in person, all those other leads are what is getting ignored. So your leads are your patients divided by your close rate divided by your answer rate. So to get one lead, divide by half and 0.2, that's 10 leads in order to get one patient. So in order to get 10 patients, which is our goal, you need 100 leads. So big question everyone asks is, how do you get a lead? The modern marketing funnel, it doesn't matter what type of marketing you're doing. You need some form of impression of that marketing, whether it's a direct mail piece, whether it's digital advertising, whether it's an email, which pushes traffic to a landing page or your website. And some of those convert to leads, and then some of those convert to sales. You have to know that this process is about metrics that have a funnel that you can engage with at every step of the way. And those metrics, only a sub percentage actually convert. And so it's important to know how those metrics operate. So with the metrics, you have to know what your CVR is. That's your conversion rate. Your conversion rate is how many people see your landing page and actually convert to become a lead. And so if they went to your homepage and no one actually fills out a form, it's a low conversion rate. If they go to a very targeted landing page, a high conversion rate. So your next is your click-through rate, your CTR. How many people engage with your advertisement or engage with your email or engage with your marketing? And the last is to know is the cost per click. Is there a fee associated with driving that traffic from a digital ad or an email or even SEO? And so right now, the healthcare averages for the cost per click for Facebook and Instagram is $1.25. A good click-through rate of a good qualified campaign is about 3%. A conversion rate for an optimized landing page is 5%. And a conversion rate for a new page is 2% or less. And so these values are very important, as you'll see on the next page. So you're going to ask yourself the question, how many clicks does it get to become a lead? So your clicks is your number of leads divided by your conversion rate. And your number of impressions needed to get that is your clicks divided by your click-through rate. So to get 100 leads at that 2% conversion rate, which was that new landing page, not optimized, your clicks is 100 leads divided by 2%, which is 5,000 clicks. And at an average cost per click, that's $1.25 times 5,000 is $6,000 for a poor converting landing page. For your optimized landing page at 5%, 100 leads, 5% is 2,000 clicks. At 125 is $2,500. That's a significant cost difference based off of the quality of the conversion. And that's why a good landing page really improves your marketing dollars so much further. So the next big important question as we're building up the formula, and trust me, at the end, I'll give you the full formula, is how big is the audience that you need in order to get this traffic? So your impressions needed is your total number of clicks divided by your average click-through rate. And so if we needed 2,000 clicks to your landing page to hit your goal, at that 3% average click-through rate, that's 66,000 impressions. And your audience size is your number of impressions divided by the average views per person. And right now, industry average for an average number of ad views, and this is Facebook and Instagram, and this changes per marketing channel that you play with. So the average ad views in Facebook and Instagram is about 2 to 4 before they stop interacting because they get bored. And so your audience size to get to 66,000 is about 16,000 to 33,000 people. So it's so important based off your goals. Is your target area large enough to support your goals? So if you were in a remote area where you're just doing a 1 mile radius around your clinic and you don't have more than 16,000 or 33,000 people, maybe your audience isn't big enough to hit those goals and you have to expand that target area out even further to meet that. So it's important to make sure your audience is big enough. So the next important factor is even though you have leads, not all leads are equal. So the buyer's journey stage affects the lead to patient conversion rate. And the buyer's journey indicates that not everyone's ready to buy. Some people are actually trying to find out, do I have a problem? What are hormones and are they right for me? They're in consideration phase. Is hormone pellet therapy the appropriate path versus should I order some Hims online and take some random pill and see what happens? Or they're at the decision stage going, I'm ready to buy, but should I buy with you or your competitor down the street? So you may be able to get leads at those different stages, but they may not become patients. And that's important. Whereas you're doing marketing, you do want to attract leads and nurture them all, but not everyone is actually ready to buy. And that does affect the actual patient conversion rate. Just targeting a decision-only audience stage makes your audience size too small because they say at any given point, only 7% of the traffic that comes to your website actually is ready to buy. The rest of it are going through the other stages to get to that point. So you could be ignoring a lot of traffic if you're only just asking for a sale. So we're getting towards the end. We're building up towards that formula. You want to ask you that question. What does a lead actually cost? And so your cost per lead, CPL, is your total marketing costs associated with acquiring that lead. So for digital advertising, in this example, we wanted 100 leads. Our ad spend based off of a high quality click, high conversion page was about $2,500, that $1.25 per 2,000 clicks. The agency's fees for this, we just created an example. Let's say it was $1,000. And this is where you'd actually get your proposals from different agencies. These are examples, but this is applying to your own marketing. Imagine your landing page cost $500 to build. Your creative was $500 to pull out the right imagery and videos, perhaps. So your cost per lead in this scenario, as an example, sum that up is $4,500 total, and you got 100 leads. That's $45 per lead. So that gives you a good average cost per lead. And you want to use those as your own personal benchmarks as you keep growing through your model. So as an awareness, healthcare average across the country in 2024 for cost per lead is between $50 and $162 per lead, depending on if you're using an agency and depending what solution you're using. Are you using Google ads or Facebook ads? So you're not stuck with those high costs. There are ways to lower it down, but you have to balance them out for what's effective for you. So you invest in multiple lower cost channels such as SEO. So even though it's a low cost per lead, it's a much longer lead time. So you can't invest in SEO and expect to get a lead right away. It takes 6 to 12 months for SEO to generate quality leads, but it lowers your cost per lead values. You can improve the landing page conversion rates. As you saw, that changed your costs significantly. You can target your audiences more effectively. Talk to people who are actually interested in your service versus talking to everyone around you. And improve your ad engagement. Really have it focused towards particular pain points or particular solutions. And so all those alone can help reduce your cost per lead. So you're not stuck with high-end costs. Again, we're building to the formula. We're almost there. So big burning question. How much should I spend on marketing? And so the formula is cost, and by all means, we're going to send out the presentation so you don't have to take snapshots now. We'll explain it afterwards. So the cost is your total leads needed times your average cost per lead, or based off this formula, if you break it down further, is your goal divided by your sales conversion, divided by your conversion rates times your cost per click. Our goal was 10 patients. Our sales conversion was about 10%. So our 10 patients is 100 leads. The clicks needed was 100 leads with 5% conversion, which was 2,000 clicks. Our ad budget was 2,000 clicks by the average of $125 per clicks is $2,500. Our cost was $2,500 plus our estimated $2,000 marketing spend on the resources that just appropriate to your area. So that was a $4,500 cost. The customer acquisition cost in this scenario is $4,500 divided by 10 patients, which is 450. And that's less than your $1,000 LTV to CAC ratio. That's more of a 6.6 to 1, which is actually good marketing. And when it got to that high, it'd actually be recommended to invest more in marketing because it's actually producing successful results. So you can actually get more patients than you expected. So what are the takeaways here? In order to estimate out your marketing, you have to set goals. You have to set realistic goals. What are the ones that you're trying to achieve? So that way you can benchmark them, because not all marketing is equal. Some marketing fails miserably and some marketing blows you away success. You can get significantly better results, but it's good to plan out based off of using goals and metrics that are averages and standards so you can actually try to achieve those. Next is calculate your budget towards those goals. Will those numbers effectively get you the numbers, hopefully, that you're trying to achieve? The big one here is start out small and test. You wouldn't want to put your entire marketing budget into one campaign and blow it all immediately without know what your conversion landing page is, or know what your cost per click is, or know what your audience size is. If you did a direct mail approach and sent 10,000 mailers out and you had no idea who they were, you might get zero return and spend your entire budget. Once you know what the result rates are, then you build towards, okay, I'm getting the expected results, and you can put the rest of the marketing budget towards that. And once you have those values, you scale and grow. If you're getting successful marketing results, one of the biggest stoppers that people do too early is not invest more in their marketing. If they keep doing the same amount of marketing each month, you're not actually growing even further where you probably could be. So with that 6.6 to 1 ratio, you could have doubled your marketing budget and doubled your patient and made even more money. So that is today's lesson.